He's been as direct as ever about the WNBA. By the way, one indisputable point was the focus of his recent criticism of the league. Caitlin Clark is being handled terribly by them. She's not just another name in the lineup, according to Smith. She is the type of player that has the potential to completely change the future of the WNBA. What about the figures? They're already proving him correct. First, let's discuss those statistics. People pay attention when Caitlin Clark plays. She is the kind of athlete who can entice casual spectators to watch a whole game. Over 1.178 million people watched Clark's games on average during the NCAA tournament. When she isn't participating, or even when she is overshadowed, the number of viewers drastically decreases, as evidenced by the drop to just 394,000 earlier this season. That is essentially going unnoticed. What can you infer from that? It's blatantly clear to Smith. The main draw is Caitlin Clark. He believes it's a major lost opportunity since the WNBA isn't putting enough effort into that. Clark's influence is being highlighted by more than simply TV statistics. For a moment, let's focus on the Indiana Fever. Before Clark arrived, this club wasn't exactly the most sought after in the WNBA. Attendance increases dramatically whenever she is scheduled. Instead of casually rooting for the other side, people are coming to watch her. That is a generational player's power. However, Smith noted that she is being treated by the league like any other rookie. Every aspect of their marketing, promotion, and even how they treat her on the court is subpar. Speaking of the court, this is where the situation becomes even more chaotic. The league's failure to shield Clark from excessively aggressive and occasionally outright disrespectful play is one of Smith's...
Did y'all? And now she's throwing up her hands. She's throwing up her hands like she ain't just, damn me, boom. Lead forward and assault Sophie Cunningham, bro. Dirty fucking play there. That was a dirty play. Now, it looked like the referee actually might caught this. It says,
why is the biggest star in the WNBA being overlooked? Stephen A. Smith claims the WNBA is treating Caitlin Clark like any other player, despite the fact that she alone has increased the league's viewership. What's actually happening behind the scenes? And is their strategy alienating fans? Let's dissect it. I have a minor favor to ask of you before we go. Please take a moment to subscribe to the channel and like this video if you enjoy this content. More than 98% of you watch the videos without signing up. Although it doesn't cost you anything, it has a significant impact on us. Did you click the subscribe button then? Fantastic, that I really appreciate it. Let's return to the video. Nothing is known to be sugar-coated by Stephen A. Smith.
This is a slow motion version of it. So as you guys can see here, just look at this. Boom, bro. Boom. Just completely look at Breanna Stewart's face. And this is who we got in charge of negotiating the CBAs. Look at this. Like, how do something like this happens always?
Examine the New York Liberty's perimeter defense of Clark in great detail. Take a look at the forceful hand-checking. As Caitlin Clark merely tries to navigate the half-court offense, notice how the defenders are heavily crowding, grabbing, and physically testing her space. The cynical belief held by the Liberty defenders was that the referees would just swallow their whistles and let the generational superstar deal with unparalleled physicality. Sophie Cunningham made the decision to totally disrupt the New York Liberty defense at that precise moment. Cunningham was seen by the cameras performing precisely what she does better than nearly every other WNBA player. She was putting up enormous, unyielding screens that made her point very evident. With a level of unadulterated ferocity that is uncommon in contemporary basketball, she was physically pushing opponents away from Clark.
Right here. So this was Sophie here. But watch how this girl is hacking Caitlin Clark. Watch this. Caitlin Clark is getting hacked. Watch. Watch. Look at her. Hacking Caitlin Clark all over. Now watch Sophie. Boom. Now, when Sophie did...
One particular viral sequence caused the internet to go completely crazy. A Liberty defender was getting closer to Caitlin Clark's blind side as she drove the channel aggressively. However, Sophie Cunningham came flying in from the weak side and created the kind of tough, unyielding screen that would have made an old-fashioned NBA enforcer proud. She didn't only make a few inches of room. She took up the room with an intensity that shocked the audience. She pushed her own body between Caitlin Clark and the oncoming defender. And take a look at the New York Liberty defender's extremely dramatic response in this particular video. In an attempt to sell the call, the Liberty defender throws her arms into the air and dramatically collapses backward onto the hardwood when Cunningham places her legal, properly positioned screen to shield Clark.
Sophie didn't look like she leaned into her, bro. Let me see. Nope. I don't think she did. I don't think. Oh, and old girl flopped. Look at this damn flop. She threw her arms up and everything. Now, if we go back and look at what happened to Sophie, like people want to say Sophie did the same thing.
The way Sophie Cunningham responded to Breanna Stewart's hefty elbow earlier in the game is directly comparable to the extremely dramatic flop. Like a warrior, Cunningham took the heavy bodily impact. The Liberty defender fully collapsed to the ground, pleading for a whistle after feeling a legal screen. That is the precise distinction between someone attempting to influence the referees and a tough, real basketball enforcer. This video went popular on social media. She was being referred to as Caitlin Clark's personal bodyguard by knowledgeable basketball fans. And Breanna Stewart, who made the initial contact, felt precisely how the rest of the league currently perceives the Indiana Fever after watching this enormously popular video. The rest of the WNBA is heavily intimidated. Let me describe the problem as it actually is. Caitlin Clark received far more physical punishment over the previous season than nearly every other player in the WNBA. Veterans shoved, hit, and swarmed her all the time. Her debut season terminated after just 13 games due to soft tissue injuries, which were directly caused by the enormous accumulation of that daily physical toll. Clark was being struck hard every night, which led to those injuries. Sophie Cunningham was the only one who intervened to stop it. She is now formally returned. She tore her MCL 9 excruciating months ago. After 9 arduous, excruciating months of rigorous physical rehabilitation, she questioned whether her knee would be structurally sound. In the end, the front desk presented her with a significantly reduced 1-year contract for precisely $665. $5,000. She wanted to be here so badly that she signed it. She aspired to be the ultimate enforcer for the world's greatest performance, and on Saturday afternoon at the Barclays Center, she demonstrated that her identity remained unchanged despite 9 months of arduous knee rehabilitation. She concluded with an incredible +8 rating in the box score, scored 13 crucial points, and went a very...
Sophie ain't flopped. She immediately... Breanna Stewart a big gal. Look. She ain't throw her hands up. See, there's a big difference. Watch this one here. Look. She flopped. That was a half-second.
Narratives in NCAA basketball emerged from that moment when Reese used her gestures to insult Clark, lighting up the internet. That animosity has now followed them directly into the WNBA. Stephen A. Smith didn't waste any time pointing out what he believes to be the main problem in this situation: jealousy. He thinks that Caitlin Clark Smith's quick ascent is frustrating Angel Reese and potentially even other players. Smith has suggested that a rift is developing in the league. It's not that Clark doesn't deserve to shine, but more that some players appear to dislike the attention. She is getting. It's hardly shocking that Clark shot to national prominence virtually quickly, earning comparisons to some of the biggest basketball stars, while others, like Reese, feel ignored in spite of their own achievements. For a moment, let's go back to that notorious championship game. Do you recall Reese's taunting? After LSU won the championship, she flung it in Clark's face. For some, it was just a fierce display of swagger and fair game, but for others, it went too far. It evolved into a symbol of the two players' separation rather than merely a brief encounter on the court. When they entered the WNBA for the first time in 2024, everyone was watching how they interacted. The tone was established with the Chicago Sky versus Indiana Fever game on opening night. The cameras captured every small stare, word, and shove between Reese and Clark as they engaged in combat rather than just playing. Not only were they watching basketball, but they were also witnessing drama. Smith isn't hesitant to take this position. He has noted that there may be a larger pattern to Reese's behavior against Clark. He believes that Clark's contributions to the league are not being acknowledged, as seen by the remarks, gestures, and covert barbs. Caitlin Clark's long